Test one two, test one two, test one two, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Good evening, good evening. Holding for 30 seconds and then we're going in. Test one two, test one two, test one two. The levels, the levels, the levels, the levels. Good evening. I am Juan Key and welcome to my world. I am a cornucopia of stuff straight out of New York City. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good beginning of the week on the 16th day of February, Black History Month. I said, you know what? Let me do a highlight and a bullet on the NAACP. We know that they've been there and we've heard of them, but have we really learnt about what they do and who they are? So I said, let me take a moment and do my highlight. So, what is the NAACP? The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, is the oldest and largest civil rights organization in the United States. Drop a bomb on that. Oh, we just missed Founders Day by just a few days. Founded on February 12th, 1909 in New York City. Drop another bomb on that. Let me find out. New York City has been the epicenter. Okay, founded on February 12th, 1909 in New York City, it was established as an interracial endeavor to combat racial violence, particularly lynching, and ensure political, educational, social, and economic equality for all citizens. The core identity and mission of the NAACP. The mission is to eliminate race-based discrimination and ensure the political, education, social, and economic equality of rights of all persons. The methodology that they use is the organization uses a combination of grassroots activism, legal litigation, and legislative lobbying to achieve its goals. So they believe in working with nonprofits, grassroots at the community organizing level, and also doing some legal litigation, meaning taking them cases to the court, okay, and getting them judgments and appeals, right? And also legislative lobbying. So working with local Congress people to put together laws. The leadership. The NAACP is headquartered in Baltimore, Maryland, and is currently led by President and CEO Derek Johnson. It operates over 2,000 local chapters across the country. I didn't even know that there were chapters. I thought it was just like one nonprofit, NAACP, and I always thought it was somewhere in California. I don't know why, but I always felt like it was somewhere over there. Again, being from New York City, always feeling like things were just like so far away, like down there somewhere. Yet we had a stop in the Underground Railroad, and now I'm finding out that the NAACP was actually founded here. All right. Historical significance. The NAACP was founded by a diverse group including W.E.B. Du Bois, Ida B. Wells Barnett, which we learned about yesterday, Mary White Ovington, and Moorfield Story. Let's talk a little bit about the legal victories. Its legal arm, once led by Thurgood Marshall, which we will be learning about him in the next couple of days. I have him on my list. Secured the landmark 1954 Supreme Court victory in Brown versus Board of Education. This is back in the day when the Supreme Court actually showed up and did work for the people. Drop a bomb on that. Right now, it's a pretty building. They keep it really clean. My husband and I, the Incredible Hulk, visited about a year ago, 2 years ago, and the building is immaculate. They keep it really well, but then people in there are not doing their goddamn jobs. Drop a bomb on that. I think they're using the building for the occasional KKK meetings and shit, but I digress. Let's continue. Let me take that back. Legal victories. Its legal arm, once led by Thurgood Marshall, secured the landmark 1954 Supreme Court victory in Brown versus Board of Education, which declared state-mandated school segregation unconstitutional. The crisis. In 1910, Du Bois established The Crisis, the organization's official journal, which remains one of the oldest black periodicals in the United States. The Crisis. I'm going to pull that up. Didn't even know that either. Civil rights milestones. The organization was instrumental in the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And then I wanted to know, just a second here. I have it right here. Okay. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I just lost my place in the reading. Just a second. Um, okay, here it comes. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the legislative milestones. The NAACP was the primary lobbying force behind the most critical civil rights laws of the 20th century. Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibited discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin in public facilities and employment. Drop a bomb on that. Something that we know number 47 has been trying to strip down. Okay. Voting Rights Act of 1965 dramatically increased black voter participation by outlawing discriminatory practices like literacy tests. Yes, there used to be a time in Irish 21 where if you couldn't read, you couldn't vote. Okay. Fair Housing Act. These are all cases and cases that they argued and lobbies that they lobbied for with their congressman people. Fair Housing Act of 1968 targeted racial discrimination in the sale, rental, and financing of housing. Anti-lynching advocacy. After a century-long campaign starting with the 1919 report, 30 years of lynching in the United States, the NAACP finally saw a federal anti-lynching law signed in 2022. That it took all this fucking time. I'm expecting I'm going to hear 1919, 15 or something. 2002, it took this long, 2002, to put a law, an anti-lynching law. Oh my God. Grassroots and social impact. The Montgomery bus boycott, 1955 to 1956. The NAACP member Rosa Parks sparked this 381-day protest The NAACP provided the legal and financial support that led to the desegregation of the city's bus system. The March on Washington in 1963. The organization was a key co-organizer of this historic rally where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his, and I quote, "I have a dream," end of quote, speech. Integration of the armed forces. They lobbied successfully for President Truman's 1948 executive order to desegregate the military. You know, the more I read, the more angry I get. And I'm reading the accomplishments, but it's just, in order for these accomplishments to be here, then the issue was there. You know what I'm saying? 2022, for anti-lynching to be on the record as criminal? Modern day achievements. Criminal justice reform. Actively campaigns to cut the contract between police departments and schools to reduce the school to prison pipeline. And that's fact, that there's a school to prison pipeline that they make a profit out of. Environmental justice establishes a dedicated program to address how climate change and pollution disproportionately affect communities of color. Drop a bomb on that. I'm asking the thing a question. Let's see. I just asked a question. How can I get involved? How can I get involved with the NAACP? You can get involved with the NAACP through membership, direct volunteering, or local advocacy. And like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I didn't even know that there were local chapters. So if you can find your local chapter and find more information and see if if there's anything that you can help with or you want to be involved with. I always thought this was somewhere headquartered, not even in Washington. I always felt like it was somewhere in California, and it was just like a building with the offices there, and they got their message out through the internet. And I never really thought that it was like a really well organized, really well run machine. All right, become a member. Joining as a member provides access to a national network of activists and local chapter programs. The adult membership, ages 21 and up, is $30 per year. The youth membership, ages 20 and under, is $10 to $15 per year. The lifetime membership ranges from silver, $750, to diamond, $2,500, payable in installments. And then you can join in the website. You can connect with your local unit. They have branches all over the country pretty much. You can also volunteer. If you don't want to join and pay a membership fee or whatever, you can volunteer. You do not always need a membership to start helping, though it is encouraged for long-term roles. Voter outreach. Participate in the Get Out to Vote, GOTV, campaigns by phone banking, texting, or door knocking to increase civic engagement. Youth mentorship. Volunteer with the ACTSO program as a mentor or organizer for students in grades 9 to 12. And also, or with training, attend regular workshops to sharpen your advocacy and leadership skills. I kind of like that one. There's also digital advocacy, so you don't even have to go there. You can do your stuff remote. You can text to join. Text the word join, JOIN, to the number 20707 to receive mobile updates and calls to action. You could take the pledge, sign the pledge to advance or sign petitions on urgent legislative issues like voting rights or criminal justice reforms. And for more information, you can go to to their website, the official website, which is naacp.org. When you go over there, you first land on a page with the one and only Jennifer Lewis doing a little speech there and a little pitch. So, in short, this is what the NAACP does and has accomplished and has moved black people forward. And I put in there what they were doing to fight number 47. They just like number 47 had his Project 2020, what was it, 2025? Was that the thing, Project 25? They also have a counter plan, also titled 2025, in which they were going to be bringing things up to the Supreme Court. I know, and also community organizing. So lots of good stuff that they're doing. It's good to know that we still have them in our corner, and they have sustained since 1909, before 47 through 47, and they will be there way after motherfucking 47. Okay? 47 and his Klansmen. All right? With that said, I want to thank you for coming through. I go live every single night. I anticipate at some point I may need to call out. But, at that point, I guess AI Juanqui Pro will be before you. But until that day, please come back tomorrow so we could do our 17th profile. We were going to continue to push through this month and doing a Black History Month profile or highlight every single night of this month. I hope you had a good day. I hope you have a good evening. I hope you have a good morning. And I will see you tomorrow night for number 17. All right. Peace.